Good morning. Welcome. This is going to be about a 70-minute posers vinyasa class, which really just means it's for everybody. This class will be a flowing class, but you're always welcome to stop at any time, do anything that you need to, do a different version, stop and do more restorative work, or meditate. There's a lot of different ways to practice. You might do this for 15 minutes and then have to do something else, and that's also super chill. My name is Alyssa. My partner Tony is going to be here practicing and being sort of a demonstrator for us. I also have a couple of dogs with me. I'm here on the San Juan Islands. Relocated for a couple of months, and it's really an interesting place to be. I'm working on a farm, and I find that being really close to the shifts of nature to weather, to when things are receiving more sun, to night and day has been really affecting. And one of the things that's going on in the natural world right now is this full moon in Scorpio, and it's really big and bright in the sky here. It sort of rises like the sun, and you can hear all of the animals respond to it. And if you're in a spot where you get to sort of experience the forest or experience the fields, etc., you may know that already. But if you're a city dweller, you might find that you feel those effects yourself as part of nature, but you may sort of feel removed from nature in that way. And so it's a little bit harder to feel grounded in these things when it seems like maybe only you are experiencing them. And really just want to put out there that the interconnection of your experience to everything else makes it valid and worthwhile, which is one of the ways we can practice non attachment. Non-attachment seems sort of like the theme of the season, figuring out how to be compassionate enough to let things be as they are, compassionate enough to be kind enough to something, not to identify with it or process our sense of self through it. But mostly, yoga gives us this opportunity to not be so attached to result, to be process oriented as opposed to product oriented, which means that the process is valid unto itself, that the process um, already has validity. It doesn't need to reach a goal to be worthwhile or marketable or of selling value, quote unquote. In fact, we're just allowing ourselves to be with what is. And so that's why it can be anything. Do what you need to do, pragmatically change postures, use props, make at home props if you need to. Extra blankets and towels and books are good ways to stand in for blocks and bolsters and things like that. And allow the truth that you are at home to be the truth. If you always have to kick the door closed with your foot and one footed dog, now maybe you do. There's always a cat there and your head's close to the ground. It's all an opportunity to practice. Remember that you are driving, as it were. You get to decide how it goes. So you're always welcome to take what's for you and leave what is not. All right, we're going to get started with a little bit of resonant sound. I like to begin the practice by chanting 3 rounds of the seed sound of Om. So you're welcome to sit up tall on something if you wish. You can sit cross legged or with your legs folded under hero style. And let your hands rest in relative neutral. If oming isn't appropriate in the space or time you're in, or if it's just not for you, feel free to sit with us in presence instead. Let your shoulders slacken, your face soften a little, and try to tune up the tuning fork of your spine. Not so it's super proper, but just so it feels balanced and easy. The pressures of gravity pulling down on it. To clear and prepare the energetic channel, take a big deep inhale in through your nose. And open mouth, exhale, HA. Inhale, prepare for Om. Take a long inhale in through your nose and a slow exhale out through your nose. And let's begin in child's pose in Balasana, please. So you can come to a hands and knees position if this is a new shape. Bring your toes close and knees wide. Sit your hips towards your heels and bring your upper body to hang forward and down. You might stack your hands or some books under your forehead if it feels like getting to the ground creates a lot of pressure. You could also choose to be more forward, off your heels. Sometimes it's nice to choose a different shape altogether, to be in a seat, to lie on your side or your back or your belly. The energy, the intention of the posture being more of import than necessarily the alignment, as we call it, of where you put your bones in space. So, child's pose, balasana, you might consider the purity of the child, right? The fact that children can devote themselves fully to an idea, even for a short period. The hero running, suddenly they are the villain, and then again, once more, themselves. And so, allowing yourself the same idea of interplay through your postures, whatever physical position you put yourself in, consider perhaps the archetype or the energy of beginning, right? What it means to start afresh, anew. The shape of the spine in child's pose rounds like the spine does in utero. And as you allow yourself to arrive here, you can work with eyes open or eyes closed. We're sort of turning inward and downward, and bringing the brain towards the earth, towards its origin, and beginning to allow our sense organs to pay attention to how things are. Listen to the sounds that you hear in the space around you. I find listening for myself as an audiophile, as somebody who learns by sound and verbal action, to be a good way of thinking about all sensory information, but it might for you be what you're seeing, what you're tasting, what you're smelling. Sometimes letting the animal of your body come to play is best for this. How do you feel in the body? How are your internal organs working? How do your muscles feel? Is there points of compression, points of extension? Are you noticing your breath moving in and out? Where are things tight or active? Where are they soft and easy? Is there a mood or a quality, an identity, an energy to be acknowledged, an emotion to be honored? Are there any thoughts that are pervasive or present? What are you thinking on the direct level that you're aware of? What are you thinking on lower, more subconscious levels that bubble up? And as you start to take in this more vast scape of the universe of you, remember you are a microcosm for the macrocosm of the universe. So your experience, while it may seem individual, is communal. So as you start to pay attention to the specific, to the detailed experience of you in the here and now, you can have that ability to hold what is broad without having to be vague to make space for it. As you start to pay attention to how things are, we tether our awareness to the breath because the breath you're breathing is always happening now. We use Ujjayi pranayama, the upward liberating or psychic breath, upward victorious breath of moving the free play of our experience in the body up to the experience of the spirit or the soul or the psyche, the higher self, however you want to think about that point that floats above your brain. Let's find Ujjayi pranayama together. Exhale the air you have in your lungs and get a little excess empty. Draw your belly in if you like to push the air away. And then slowly inhale in through your nose. As you do, fill your belly, fill your rib cage, fill your chest, and hold at full. Open your mouth to exhale, HA. Inhale in again slowly through your nose at the bottom and fill your lower back up first, and then your back ribs, maybe all the way up to your shoulder blades. And again, retain softly at mostly full. Like a lion, open mouth exhale, HA. Now, classic Ujjayi pranayama, seal your lips and breathe in through your nose slowly. You might hear a soft snoring sensation in the base of your throat as you spread your breath three-dimensionally throughout your body. And once again, just for a moment, hold, pause at full, and seal your lips to sigh out through your nose, that same HA sound, but through your nostrils. And continuing, inhale in through your nose, snoring and spreading. Exhaling out through your nose, emptying and sighing. And I'm exaggerating the sound so you might be able to hear it, but you want to be able to hear it and feel it in your body and with your ear. It doesn't have to be performative for an external point of view. Just a tether. If you're listening for it, if you're feeling your breath, you're likely doing it. Little by slowly, as you breathe in this way, as you notice the tidal rise and fall of your breath, of your connection to this spark of nature, little by slowly begin to move in your grounding posture in your child's pose. You might wiggle your fingers and your toes. You might rock your forehead from side to side on your mat, roll your hips on your heels. And little by slowly start to cultivate movement that feels good for you, like waking up in the morning. You might stretch long to the sides of your body. We'll move slowly in the next 5 to 7 rounds of breath towards a hands and knees position, a tabletop shape. And let yourself be uninhibited, as it were. Move in a way that feels right for you. Our cultural idea of what it is to be human often really precludes lots of patterns of movements that would be really natural to us if we remember we are, in fact, animals, part of interconnected nature. And so you can perhaps allow at least the idea of shame to start to be put up on a shelf somewhere for some other conversation about our current times, as opposed to the conversation between you and your body and how it moves. And as you arrive at your hands and knees position in the next 5 to 7 breaths, you could continue to be moving, resolving in your own timing. We'll meet up slowly. Spread your fingers and press your thumbs down. Try to stack your shoulder joints, sort of the socket of your arm over the center of your wrist or hand, and the socket of your hips over your knees. Inhale to cow pose when you're ready. Drop your belly and your front ribs, lift your chin and your tailbone up. Exhale, cat pose, tuck your chin, round your spine, dome your shoulders. Good. Follow your breath through. Inhale, cow pose, and exhale to cat. And you might work a lot with your neck. If you have a lot of neck tenderness, I suggest limiting range of motion, especially at the beginning, so you're really warming your way in. Here, you could also add actions, tilts, shifts, pauses, trying to warm up the spine, but also to find relationship of vinyasa, of inhales and exhales to actions in the body. And naturally, when we inhale, there's an ever so slight movement towards extension or backward bending. And naturally, when we exhale, there's a gathering of the belly, some rounding of the spine. So we're just exaggerating those here. Next couple of rounds of breath, slow your actions down, minimize them until they are once again at neutral tabletop shape. And begin to press down heavy through your right hand. As you're arriving, inhale, take your left arm out and up, reaching up, maybe gazing upward. And exhale to thread the needle underneath and behind your right wrist. Come down to your shoulder, ear, or jaw and breathe. Now you're welcome to create a landing pad further or closer away from your knees, depending on your own preference. You're welcome to work the twist. Use your right hand, your abdominal strength to roll your rib cage right and up. You might choose instead to kind of drop down onto your arms, square your right shoulder towards the earth. Any arm variations you like are welcome. Breathe and notice. Give attention to yourself and your present experience. And if you moved it, return your right hand to the mat near your nose. Use an Ujjayi inhale to take your left arm out and then up, reaching upward. And exhale to tabletop, 2 hands on the earth. Heavy in your left hand. Inhale your right arm out and then up, reaching upward. And exhale to thread the needle underneath and behind. Come down to shoulder, ear, or jaw and breathe. Now, again, you might do the same thing as you did on the opposite side, but it doesn't have to be that way. It might be different, in fact. Breathing fully and continuing to listen to the sound of your breath. Notice the sensations in the body. Really, as hatha yogis, as yogis who do a physical practice, we're using the body as the field, right? As the sort of altar, as it were, for our ritual work. Notice the body anytime you find yourself elsewhere. Return your left hand to the mat next to your face and inhale your right arm out and then up, reaching upward. Exhale, 2 hands to the earth, tabletop position. Inhale, cow pose, curl your toes. Exhale, down dog, spin your knees and hips up and back. You might keep your knees bent even as you enter and start to move around your legs a little bit. You might inhale your left knee and plug your right heel to exhale, slowly drive your heels down towards the mat, classic dog business. Inhale to your tippy toes and exhale to bend your knees. This time, keep your knees bent, but inhale to bring your knees to the mat. Walk your hands under your shoulders, tabletop. Inhale, cow pose, lift your heart. Exhale, cat pose, round in. Inhale, cow pose, curl your toes, bent knee, down dog on the exhale. Spin your tail high. Take an inhale, lift your heels up higher. And exhale, bend your knees. Slowly bring your shoulders over your wrists. So almost to this floating knee tabletop position. Exhale your knees to the mat. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Curl your toes. Keep your knees bent. Exhale to bent knee, downward facing dog pose. Drive your heels low when you arrive. Inhale, tippy toes. Last time through this. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, shoulders over wrists. Bent knees, stay bent. Exhale softly as you can, knees to the mat, tops of the feet down. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Curl under your toes. Exhale, bent knee, downward facing dog. Spin your tail high. Good. Take an inhale, bend your knees, look forward, and exhale, tiptoe your feet up to your hands. We'll hang in a ragdoll forward fold at the top of the mat. As you let your upper body hang down, relax your jaw, soften your teeth away from each other. You might choose to grab opposite elbow with opposite hand, sway a little from side to side. You're welcome to flip your palms up on the ground. Bend your knees enough that this is more about your lower back relaxing than it is about your hamstrings being stretched. Plenty of opportunity for that. You take any arm variation you like, but breathe and practice dangling your upper body off your lower body. How much strength and awareness you need in your legs so that your feet can be soft and still support this hanging of your upper body down. Good. Next exhale or two, drop your arms out of any chosen grip. Let's inhale to halfway lift. You can roll your tail out, bend your knees. Feel free to press hands into shins, thighs, blocks, or earth. Use your exhale to forward fold. Two more like that. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And as always, follow your own breath through the last one. Your own timing. And clench your hands down and step your feet back. Maybe that same tiptoe all the way back to plank pose, upward push-up position. Take an inhale to stack your shoulders over your wrists. Right away, exhale, knees to the mat. Bend your elbows in and back and lower all the way down onto your front body. Bring the tops of your feet down, kicking the earth. And inhale to Bhujangasana. Peel your heart forward, out and up. And exhale to bring your chin or forehead down. And let's do that two more times. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Let your breath create inflation and rise. And exhale, bring the upper body down. Last time, minimize effort. There will be some. Try to let it be as easy as possible in your own breath. Curl your toes under, plug your knees down. Inhale through plank on the knees, a little bit of a long hipped tabletop. Exhale back towards bent knee down dog before driving your heels low towards downward facing dog pose. Ujjayi, inhale in through your nose. Ujjayi, exhale out through your nose. Inhale, lift your right leg up, one-footed dog pose. Exhale, scorpion the dog. Open your hip, bend your knee, and roll your right ankle around in each direction a couple of times. Sturdy in your hands, relaxed in your neck. flared in your tail. Inhale, straighten and extend your right leg high back and long. Exhale, knee towards nose, chin towards chest, shoulders over wrists like a plank pose. Inhale, one-footed dog, reach and extend. And exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot through. You can grab it, pull it up to bring it up hands are. You can tent to your fingertips here as you breathe. You could choose to use props under the hands or even draw the hand up onto the knee. Cat and cow lunging. Inhale, cow lunge. Dip your back hip and leg. Lift your heart up. Exhale, cat lunge. Both legs draw forward straight. Tuck your chin round in. In cow lunge. Settle the pelvis down. Flare the heart out and up. Exhale, cat lunge, and move back and forth with your own breath through these two actions, working into stretching the front of your left hip, and the back of your right thigh, probably a bunch of other things as well in most human bodies. The next time your front knee is bent, pause in that low lunge position. Plant your left hand down inside your right foot or up on a prop. And inhale, take your right arm up to the sky, gazing upwards. Spin your rib cage up, draw your shoulder blades down. Option always to do this with the back knee down if you wish. Otherwise, try to spin a little left hip up, right hip out, back, and down to stabilize. Take an inhale, roll open, look up if your neck likes it. And exhale, two hands to the earth. Inhale, gaze forward, prepare. With one or many steps, exhale your left foot up to meet your right foot. Hang your head forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. Exhale, forward folds. Walk your feet mat's distance apart. Spin heels in, toes out, and squat down. Malasana, Mandukasana. First one doesn't need to be super low. This squatting action, sometimes wider, allows the heels to come down. But if your heels aren't on the ground, it doesn't mean you're not doing the work of the posture. Press your hands into the earth or into each other and lift your chest for a moment. Take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Lift your hips. Walk your feet underneath them. Inhale, halfway lift. Unroll your heart again. Exhale, fold. Soften your knees and step your right foot back, long, low lunging style. Plant your right hand down inside your left foot and inhale your left arm up, twist to the left. Now we're going a little inside out, reverse action. So you might think it feels different from side to side because you've taken less actions on this side so far. Roll your right shoulder blade down your back. You can even turn your right fingers out to the right. Twist your heart from your rib cage as opposed to from your neck or from your feet. Take another inhale to revolve and exhale, two hands to earth or props to frame the foot. Inhale, cow lunge, dip your back knee, lift your heart up. Exhale, cat lunging, straightening both legs, round in. Definitely go with your own breath volume and pace, especially as we're not together. Inhaling to lift your heart up and exhaling to shift. And take your time. Vinyasa is really a tool in yoga that has become sort of rebranded in the last 50 years into a style. You can also just use the tool at any time, go in and out of when you're regulating your breath, when you're going with a class pace regulation, when the breath is soft and easy instead. And the next time you're in that long, low lunge, pause with your front knee bent. Plant your hands and inhale, step back to plank position. And exhale, lower all the way to your mat. Use your knees if it gives you stability and awareness. Tops of your feet down. Inhale, Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, bring your upper body down and curl your toes under. Inhale through plank or hands and knees. Then exhale back to down dog, maybe through the bent knees style on your way. Big deep inhale in through your nose. Long, slow exhale out through your nose. Good. Inhale, breathing. Lift your left leg up and back, one-footed dog. Exhale, scorpion the dog. Open your hip and bend your knee. You might squeeze your heel towards your butt cheek to lengthen your quad as you roll your left ankle around a little bit. Maybe a little more loose, working into your front hip psoas. Good. Inhale, straighten and extend your leg high back and long. And exhale, left knee to nose, chin to chest, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, one-footed dog, reach. Exhale, low lunge. Step forward, grab it, draw it up if you like. Drop your right knee to the mat and keep your toes curled if the kneecap is tender. You can also fold your mat up or put padding under your right knee. And climb up onto your left knee thigh and interweave your fingers to bring your heart back. As you press your pelvis forward by squeezing your glutes, ground your left heel and drive your left thigh bone back a little bit so that your belly drawing in has a bit of an allyship with that front leg. Inhale to reach your right arm up by your right ear, stretch upward, and exhale, side bend to the left, lengthen through the right side of the body. Now, as you do this, sometimes we feel like we need to come up out of the lunge, and that gives us a different space of action. Feel free. Sometimes leaning more forward to swoop over feels good, sometimes leaning more back. So remember, try all the options, play with all the cards in your deck so you know which ones you want to use in every given discernment circumstance. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead. Exhale, cactus arm back bend, bend the elbows, pull your shoulder blades down, lift your heart up. Inhale, arms up, reaching upward. And exhale, hands to the mat, frame your front foot. Good, curl your right toes under and lift your right knee up off the mat. Inhale, gaze forward, prepare with one or many steps. Exhale, up to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time we're going to crouch. So keep your feet about hips distance and parallel, but lift your heels up off the mat, even if you don't need to, and sink your hips down. Now, once you're here, this first time you can put hands on the ground or wrap hands around your legs, but tuck your chin, bring your forehead down and in towards your legs or your body. Your spine is getting curled like a tortoise shell. Good. Take another big free inhale. And exhale to the forward fold position, heels down, hips up, head hangs. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart spine. And exhale, fold. And with one or many steps, step your left foot back to the back of your mat. Long, low, lunging style. Drop your left knee down, untuck your left toes. And you can always adjudicate. Sometimes wider from right to left feels better in certain pelvises. Your bones are definitely different than mine, definitely different than everyone's. So give yourself a little space to experiment. Climb up on your right knee thigh when you're ready. And you can interweave your fingers there or bring your hands to your hips as you do a little bit of this drawing of the right thigh bone back, pressing of the glutes and the pelvis forward. When you feel secure, inhale to take your left arm up overhead, reach up for ceiling or sky, and exhale, side body bend to the right. These side body bends are a form of lunar lunges, right? All of them are really named for Chandrasana, right? For Chandra or for Soma, right? The idea of connection to the lunar cycle, the moon, is a connection to everything. Good. Inhale back up to center, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, cactus arm back bend. Pull your shoulder blades down your back, puff out your front ribs, perhaps lift your gaze. Inhale the arms up, reaching upward. And exhale, hands to the mat, frame your front foot. Curl your left toes under and lift your left knee up off the mat. Inhale to plank pose, step your right foot back. And exhale, chaturanga. Bend your elbows, lower halfway, or choose to lower all the way down. Inhale, up dog. Press the palms down, tops of the feet down, or perhaps cobra from the belly. Exhale, down dog. Spin your tail high, your heels low. Breathe in the ujjayi you form, in through the nose, out through the nose. All right, inhale, take your right leg up, one-footed dog. Exhale, scorpion dog. Open your hip, bend your knee. Inhale, straighten your leg and reach it back. Exhale, right knee to right elbow or shoulder on the outside edge of your body. Inhale, one-footed dog, reach. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Always move it as you need to. All 10 toes face forward. Let's rise to high lunge, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Again, this posture can be done with the back knee down as well. If you're rising up, work your back leg towards straight. Squeeze your glutes, anchor your tail a little, and settle down into your front heel more than we tend to think. So come forward with your body weight. And then you can bend your elbows and grab opposite elbow with opposite hand. If shoulders don't preclude this action, feel free to grab for your hands instead. We're just going to do a little bit of pulling the arms away from one another. So like your two elbows are trying to go out to the sides of your space, and your hands are the only thing that's keeping them from separating. Now, if when you do this, your shoulders rise to your ears, actively pull them down your back. Lift your heart up a little bit more. Take an inhale. And exhale, release, hands to the mat, frame your right foot. Plant your right foot and inhale, kick your left foot up. It doesn't have to be all the way to standing split, just back behind you. And exhale your left foot next to your right foot, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, Utkatasana. Bend your knees, sink your hips low. Some folks call it chair, but Utkata means fierce, powerful. Arms can go up, but if that's all shoulder, arms could go out, arms could go forward, hands could go to a mudra. Take a big free inhale in, and exhale, forward fold, dive over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your left foot and inhale, just take your right leg up and back behind you. So your legs make an L shape. And exhale, bend your left knee and step your right foot to the back of your mat. All 10 toes forward, high lunge, Anjaneyasana, rise up and continue to breathe. Once you're up there again, adjudicate where the weight is in your legs. Use your back heel coming forward to drop weight into your left foot. As you feel stable, bend your elbows and grab opposite elbow with opposite hand, or grab for wrists with palms, and start to draw your elbows away from one another. Pull your shoulder blades down, lift your front ribs up, a little bit of Mula Uddiyana Bandha tone in the belly and pelvic floor. Take another inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your left foot back, plank pose, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga of your choice, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, upward dog or an alternative like cobra, strong legs either way. Exhale, downward dog, tail high, heels low. Breathe in through your nose, Ujjayi. Out through your mouth, HA. In through your nose, like a lion, HA. Ujjayi pranayama, breathe in through your nose. Ujjayi pranayama, breathe out through your nose. Inhale your left leg up and back, Ujjayi form. Exhale, open your left hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach your left leg high. Exhale, left knee towards left elbow or shoulder on the outside edge of the body. Inhale, one-footed dog, reach, expand. Exhale, low lunge, step forward. All 10 toes face forward. Inhale up, high lunge, Anjaneyasana, arms up, reaching upward. And on the exhale, we're going to turn to goddess. So like warrior two, spin your back heel down, and then turn your toes out, heels in, and bend your knees to sink your hips. Inhale, extend, straighten your legs, reach your arms out. Exhale, goddess, bend your knees like horse in Kung Fu. One more time, inhale, straighten and reach, expand. And exhale to sit low. You can bring your hands to your knees, take an inhale. Exhale, twist to the right, bring your left shoulder towards your right knee. Good, inhale through center and exhale, twist to the left, right shoulder towards the left knee. Inhale through center, and on the exhale, bring your hands to your hips, settle the pelvis low. Inhale, straighten your legs and turn your toes in. Parallel your feet. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana. Fold over wide legs. Keep your hands on your hips. That might mean you only go about halfway down. Whenever you get to your extreme, if it feels okay in your body, tuck your chin, round your spine, draw your belly in. See if you can make space for your shoulders and your elbows as your arms stay in this position. See if you can make space for turning your pelvis over the heads of your thigh bones, sticking out your tail. Good. Inhale stands you all the way up. Let's do warrior two towards the left leg. Turn your left toes to the front of your mat. Bend your left knee and reach your arms out. Flip your left palm up and inhale to reverse your warrior. Reach out, up and back, long in the side body, gaze up if your neck allows. And exhale your hands to the mat, frame your left foot, spin your right heel up. All right, again, transfer weight into your left foot. And inhale, kick your right leg up just as high as it feels like it can go. Exhale, right foot meets the left foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, fierce pose, hips low. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, stand up, straighten your knees, release your arms by your side, Samastitihi. Same standing, close the eyes or gaze out on the horizon. You've moved a lot already, created a lunar flow, lunar salutation. Noticing how even when we're working with reflective energy and light, it's still something. What is subtle is not nothing. It just requires a different frame of attention. How can you stand same standing in a physics sense, in your own weight, in your own gravity pull, with minimal effort, stacking your joints so things can be soft and easy, proud, tall, and open? How can you also stand as you stand with all things, right, in that scape of interconnection? What do you stand for? Who do you stand with? On your next inhale, flutter your eyes open if they were closed, and exhale, retune to the physical practice. Inhale your arms out and up, reaching upward. Exhale, forward fold, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your right foot and inhale your left leg up and back, that standing split or L action. Bend your right knee and exhale your left foot to the back of the mat. Long, low lunge. Inhale, rise up to crescent lunge, high lunge. We'll exhale into goddess. So spin your back heel down like warrior, but turn your toes and bend your knees. I'm going to turn around so I can hang out with you. Settle low into your hips and bring hands to heart center this time. So I'm just going to offer a little bit of a mudra. You can do it or not. You can do it with two hands in a separate position, or bring your hands so that they look like flowers. Right? Basically, it's an open cup of action with the hands, and you're bringing pinky, side edge blade, thumb blades together to hold open the flower of peace. Sit a little lower in your hips, roll your shoulders down your back, and stack your spine as best you can. Feel your heels and your hips pushing down into gravity and the buoyancy that rises upward. Take a big free inhale. Take a long, slow exhale. Good. Inhale, straighten your legs and turn your toes in. This time, use an exhale to take your hands out like a T. Inhale to reach. Interweave your fingers behind your back on the exhalation. Inhale, knuckles down, heart up. And exhale, fold forward. You're always welcome, if it's prudent, to put your hands on the ground instead, to do that. If it's more for safety, if you feel dizzy, anything like that, listen to your body. If you're doing this version, you can always hold a towel or hold a t-shirt between your hands, etc. instead. You're utilizing this work to move your hands towards the ground. Also, breath by breath, exhale by exhale. Move your body back towards the space between your legs and your pelvis, more up and over your rib cage. Good. Inhale stands you all the way up. And exhale, warrior two towards your right foot. Turn your right toes to the top of your mat. Bend your right knee. Reach your arms out like a T. Flip your right palm up and inhale to reverse your warrior. Reach out, up, and back with your right arm. And slide your left hand down your left body. Stay low in the lunge, the forward movement of your right shin. And exhale your hands to the mat. Frame your right foot. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga of your choice. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Remember, you can always head right back. Exhale, downward dog. You're welcome to any form of flow. This class, we have some push-ups, not so many, comparatively, I suppose. Listen to your body. You can skip them, go back to down dog, rest in child's pose. The energetic intention is a cycle, right? A cycle of cleaning, as it were. Right? The season changes every time you vinyasa. Okay. Inhale, take your right leg up, one-footed dog. Let's go direct this time. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge, arms up, reaching upward. Exhale to goddess. Spin your back heel down, bend your knees, widen through the arms. Good. Inhale, straighten your legs, straighten your arms. Exhale, turn your toes in, wide-footed forward fold. Reach down if you wish and grab for two big toes with peace sign fingers or outside edges of legs or ankles. Inhale like a half lift, unroll your heart. And exhale, folding and breathing. Bend your elbows and pull yourself down. There are always so many good ways to work. If the way that is offered is not for you, experiment. Remember, you are powerful. There's not someone somewhere who holds the secrets and just isn't telling them to you. They're self discovered. Next exhale or two, release your fingers off your toes if they're there. Inhale, unroll, half lift style. Exhale, low lunge towards your right foot. Walk your hands around to frame your right foot. Spin your left heel up. Stand on your right foot and inhale, kick the sky with your left foot, standing L or split. And stay here. We're going to be here for 3 or 4 rounds of breath. Coming on back down. As you kick your leg up, if you'd like to do handstand switch kicks, you're welcome to plant your hands down and use your inhales to kick up. Switch your legs, come back down. Inhale to kick up and get hang time, maybe if you're one of those lucky folks early in the day. Give yourself a moment. Be kind. Remember that bodies are bodies. Your body is already doing what it needs to do for you by bringing you into time and space. Take another big free inhale and exhale your left foot down next to your right foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, squatting. Bring your heels as wide as your mat, toes out, bend your knees, sink your hips. Malasana, Mandukasana. Take a big free inhale to lift tall through your heart. And exhale, fold forward, walk your feet underneath your hips. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. Exhale, Utkatasana, fold and bend your knees for fierce pose. Inhale, arms up. Still inhaling, stand up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Let your arms come down. Good. Inhale, arms up, reaching upward. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, side bend to your right. You can grab a hold of your left wrist with your right hand and pull, or interweave your fingers if you wish. Inhale back to center and exhale, side bend to your left. Press your pelvis to the right. Rotate your left armpit up and under. Inhale back to center, reach your arms up. Exhale, cactus the arms to back bend, shoulder blades down, heart tall. Inhale, arms up, reaching upward. Exhale, forward fold, dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your left foot. Inhale, standing L or split. Kick the sky with your right leg. Exhale, your right foot to the back of your mat. Don't worry, we'll handstand on the next round. Long, low, lunging posture. Inhale, rise to high lunge, crescent lunge. Exhale to goddess. Spin your back heel down, bend your elbows, sink your hips. Good. Inhale, straighten your arms, straighten your legs. Exhale, turn your toes in and fold forward. This time, hands on the mat under shoulders. This is usually a variation, the first one. Inhale and roll your heart. Exhale, bend your elbows and use that pushing pressure to bring the crown of your head towards the earth. It's a little like down dog. You're trying to push in the same way you do there. And this shape is sort of like an extreme down dog with wide feet. So we're just trying to use some of the same physics and draw the body into more spaciousness and ease. Inhale, unroll your heart, half lift style. Exhale, low lunge towards your left foot. Walk your hands around to frame it. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga of your choosing. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a breath in through your nose. Take a breath out through your nose. Inhale your left leg high, one-footed dog pose. Let's go direct. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot between. Inhale, high lunge, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana, arms up. This time on the exhale, cactus arm back bend. Bend your elbows, pull your shoulder blades down, lift your heart up. Inhale, arms up, reaching upward, maybe reaching back. Exhale, hands to the mat, frame your left foot. Inhale, standing L or split, kick the sky, and we'll stay for 5 or 6 breaths in this shape. I'm backing up because there's the edge of a deck right there in front of me, but if you're kicking up into handstands, use your inhales to kick up. Remember, you might fall down like me if you're going to work on handstands from time to time. Use your exhales to land again, right? Inhaling up and exhaling back down. Good. Always keep your sense of humor, right? Otherwise, what are we practicing? Take another inhale. And exhale, right foot meets the left foot, forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to crouch. Lift your heels, bend your knees, sink your hips down. And this time, instead of rounding, start to tilt your knees forward and down. Maybe the top thighs will come more parallel with the earth or the floor. You can bring your hands to your hips. You might need to sort of use your hands to help you. Walls are helpful if your nearby walls are furniture and your arms are not super long. You can rest your hands on your knees if you feel a sense of perch. Begin to take your arms up overhead, interweave your fingers, release your index fingers, or grab a hold of opposite elbow with opposite hand. I'm going to take 5 breaths here. And exhale slow, hands to the earth, heels to the earth. Inhale your hips high, forward fold. Exhale to hang your head down. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll through your heart. And exhale, forward fold. Plant down into your right foot. Inhale, standing L or split. Lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, bend your right knee and plant your left foot at the back of your mat. Inhale, high lunge, crescent lunge. Good. And on your exhale, cactus arm back bend. Pull your shoulder blades down. Lift your heart up towards the sun. Inhale, arms up, reaching upward. Exhale, hands to the mat. Frame your right foot. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. All right, take a big free inhale in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, HA. Good, Ujjayi in through your nose. Ujjayi out through your nose. Good, inhale, take your right leg up and back, one-footed dog. Exhale, step your right foot outside your right hand. So you might have to kind of walk it up out there and drop your left knee down if you wish. Some people prefer the back knee lifted. Turn your right toes out to the right, lizard or dragon pose. You're welcome to stay on your hands or trying to stretch the front of your left hip. So notice if you're rolling towards the inside of your left leg, you might have to actively kind of turn out to stay neutral. And stay on your hands, or if you wish, come down to your forearms. I'll offer a couple of variations. You might want to start with what is more straightforward first and see how it feels. Sometimes staying for time is really the most effective thing to do. Hang your head, relax your jaw, take a few breaths. You're welcome to stay. To add twisting to this action, bringing your left hand or forearm down under your heart, and your right hand to your right knee and turn and twist to the right. You can also take your right arm up. You can also add a quad stretch, bending your back knee and reaching for your foot. Pull your heel towards your hip. Breathing now. and release. 2 hands down. Toe heel your right foot back into center. And we're going to straighten the right leg for half split, half Hanuman. Flex the ankle and fold over. If you have more splitting to do, feel free to slide forward into it. Some people also choose to go all the way back towards sitting their hip next to or onto the left heel, working a quad stretch in. You're welcome to really any and all variations that feel good in your body. Make sure your breath is with you. And it's okay to feel graceful, to feel proud of the things you learn and feel and do in your body, as long as the actions are of non-attachment, right? If it was gone tomorrow, you'd still be proud, right? Then it's chill. And slowly bend your right knee and plant your foot. Walk your hands forward to frame it. Curl your back toes under and lift your knee up off your mat. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, step forward to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and step your right foot to the back of your mat. Drop your right knee down, and we're going to do the split first. Half Hanuman, flex through the ankle if you wish. Really, that's to get your quad to turn on, and the quad can turn on without the ankle flexing, so you can let it go. Keep a little stability, because that means your hamstring has sort of a stretching partner, right, to slow it down a little bit, to get it into the belly of the muscle. You're working into a different variety. Exhale by exhale, breath by breath, you might move into it. And remember that the actions are for you to feel and notice, not for you to judge and create hierarchy in. Hierarchy is sort of the soup we swim in. It's not necessarily how things are universally. It's a cultural affect. It's been around for a while, but not forever. So remember, it's okay if you've been affected by it, but it's not the only way to order things. Next couple of exhales. Bend your left knee and plant your foot. Walk your hands forward to frame it. Then bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot and toe heel your left foot out. You can turn it out to the left and stay on your hands or come down onto your forearms. And start with the straightforward action first. Breathe. Notice. You're welcome to stay here or to add twisting, bringing your right forearm or hand down under your heart, maybe even up on a lift. Left hand to left knee, turn and twist to the left. But also take your left arm up overhead or bend into your right knee and work on that quad stretching action. Ujjayi pranayama, breathe in and out through your nose. Good. Exhale, slowly release it. And toe heel your left foot back to center and curl your right toes under. Inhale, take your left leg up and back, one-footed dog pose. Exhale, downward dog pose. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower all the way to your belly. Sphinx pose, up on your elbows, forearms. Or cobra. We're going to work into a little bit of active action of bending the right knee on the inhale and bending the left 58, right? We're just going back and forth with the legs, squeezing the hamstrings. As you do, squeeze your glutes and tuck your tail. Draw your low belly in a little bit so this compression doesn't go all into the lower back, but in fact is intentionally limited. Do a few more rounds, inhaling to squeeze through the right and exhaling to squeeze through the left. Before coming slowly to a stopping point with both feet down. And slowly bring your upper body down to the earth. So you can take your elbows wide to do that and take your right arm straight out to the right like an airplane wing for crocodile. Turn your gaze to the left so your right ear is on the earth and bring your left hand under your left shoulder to roll onto the right side of your body. You can always bend your knees and stack them like you're watching a movie in the 80s. A lot of movie watching. You can drop your left leg over and back behind you. If you don't need your left arm for support, which you might need it, you can drape it behind your back just softly. A different version, feel free. Remember, gripping your arms together behind your back may in fact be a different area of the body that you target, maybe a different stretch. So you might move through options as opposed to seeking the option that seems the most difficult. Good. Return your left hand to the mat and roll back onto the front seam. And let's do the opposite side. Take your left arm out to the left and look to the right, swinging your right hand under your right cheek to roll to the left side of your body. Let your head rest. You can always use your opposite hand for that. You're welcome to utilize a block or a nearby sweatshirt is always a good prop stand in. You might roll over and let your top leg go. You might stack your knees. Breathe. The pressure in the arm will make it feel like you want to turn your hand up and try to keep it moving towards down. You're very tight in the shoulders. You can press with your hand for a couple of breaths and then try relaxing after those few breaths. And slowly, using the support of your right hand release, roll back onto the front seam of your body and bring two hands under your shoulders. Curl your toes. Inhale to upward facing dog pose or cobra. Exhale back to downward facing dog pose. Tail high, heels low. Inhale, take your left leg up and back. And this time, exhale, open your left hip and bend your knee. Inhale, reach it high, back, and long. And exhale into half pigeon on the left side. So bring your left knee ish behind and outside of your left wrist. Totally chill to have your heel even up and close to your hip, to your groin, sometimes even underneath you, depending on how your hip socket is shaped. There's no need for your shin to be parallel to the front of the mat, but if it is, that's also okay. You might curl your right toes under and walk them back. Tony's already demonstrating this more rested form, the sleeping form. Come forward and down. We'll start there. I'm going to teach a little bit of back bend action here. If you know where you want to head, you're always welcome to head there. Spend a few breaths trying to let your hip relax and the pressure between your body and the ground. Let your neck relax. And things can be tender in this pose, but they should never be painful, forced, etc. Stay soft and let the choosing of depth and alignment allow for softness as much as it allows for structure. The two things are of balance. If you'd like to add back bending and you lower down, press into your hands and lift your upper body up. You might start by just letting your front foot come closer to your hip. Right away, that'll make it a little easier for you to back bend. You might walk your hands more back next to your knees or to the sides of your body. Start to draw your shoulders down your back and lift your chest up. Think a little bit like cobra through your heart. And apply a little Uddiyana and Mula Bandha, so low belly strong. Start to press your legs down into the ground like you'd press your feet into the floor. You may find you have a little more buoyancy to go up and back. If you feel like you want to bend your back knee or reach an arm up and over, you have those variations or straps around to grab, feel free. Take 3 more rounds of breath. And exhale slowly. Release your hands to the mat and lift your upper body up if it's lower. Roll to the outside edge of your left hip and bring your right leg around the outside edge to the front. And we're going to do square pose. So for square pose, you might stack your right ankle over your left like this, like a very wide cross-legged sitting around the campfire style seat, as it were. You could also cross more ankle to knee if you prefer that. And sometimes the knee's way high up and we put padding in between. You could also go all the way to the cow face business and work there. We're going to forward fold. I'm going to stay with square myself. My hips are tight from garden work. Take an inhale, lift your heart up, and exhale, fold forward. Now you can walk your hands forward, hang your head. You're welcome to create support with props or nearby pets, etc. Relax your jaw. And sometimes this posture is ankly, like the bones of your feet and the bones of your shins and calves feel like they're kind of being pushed into each other. You might think of this more like acupressure or massage than discomfort. Let me be here for a few more breaths. We are not, in fact, going to watch a movie in this position at all. Next couple of inhales, slowly roll yourself up, and we're just going to switch the stack. So put your left foot on top and your right leg on the bottom. And again, take an inhale to lift your heart up. You can always move the goodness out from underneath you. And exhale, fold down. Hi, Oakland. You can walk your hands forward. Hello. Drop your head and neck. Breathe. Good. In the next few minutes, moments of breath, walk your hands in and back, lift yourself up. We're going to go into half pigeon the same way we exited on the other side. Roll to the outside edge of your right hip and start to sweep your left leg back. You might get to this sort of stag shape and then kind of have to scooch and go up and over. That's super chill. And again, set it in a position that makes sense. It might be different from side to side. A lot of us will end up wanting padding underneath the front hip or underneath the back top thigh, underneath the back knee. All of that's super chill and normal. A lot of you are very informed, so you already have an idea of how you'll change things so that they suit you. And as you start to come into this first variation, fold down. I'll offer a few back bends in a moment, but if you want to head into them now, you can. Hello, Albert. My dogs are visiting. If you're reclining and want to stay, folding over or do. Otherwise, you might start to slowly move towards back bending, lifting the upper body up. I suggest scooching your right heel even closer to your left hip to do this work. You might use your hands out to the sides, tent to your fingertips. Nearby pieces of furniture, blocks, books are good things too to prop yourself up with. Start to lift your heart and hang your head back. And that's really the beginning, is finding the work in the spine and letting everything percolate out from there. As you press into your legs on the ground, you might feel that you're actively rotating your right thigh bone out and your left thigh bone in. And from there, if you wish to take your arms up or work into grabbing your back foot or a strap, you're welcome to do it. Remember, just because something is fancy doesn't mean it's good. They're not going to write on our gravestones like could reach foot in the pigeon pose back bend, right? Give yourself a couple of breaths. Not to be morbid, but death practice is part of this practice too. In your next couple of exhales, return your hands towards neutral. Lift the upper body up if it was lower. And as you press into the hands and curl your back toes underneath, you're going to head to the one-footed dog pose as an exit perspective. You'll inhale to lift your right leg up and back behind you. And exhale to open your right hip and bend your knee, the scorpion dog once more. Good. Inhale, lift your right leg high and long. Exhale, downward dog. Good. Inhale to bring your shoulders forward over your wrists. And exhale your knees to the mat. Widen your feet and walk your knees together. Begin to walk your hands back and sit your hips down between your heels. If it's too much, sit on your heels. Or again, you can take a block or ball up a blanket and put it in between your ankles so there's not so much pressure on your knees. If you have knee issues, skip this. Take a few breaths doing something else that feels good for you. If you feel good in this upright position, you might stay. You're welcome to head to reclining by bringing one hand to each foot and going back and down, maybe with an arched spine. Hang the head back like fish pose. And also tuck your tail and lay all the way down on your back. That's not for you. You could also bring your hands to your hips and practice inhaling to stick your tail out, puff out your front ribs, and exhaling to tuck your tail and round in. So you're just creating a little bit of spinal movement from your pelvis, even if it's just a little bit of movement. Take a few more rounds of breath. Try to soften both the hamstring, the back of your thighs, and the glutes, the quads, the front of your thighs. Your glutes may need to be a little active, but they also could be soft depending on your range of motion. Slowly, if you reclined back, you might try to flash dance style arch your way back up to the seated position. And we'll slowly come up to standing on the knees. If you need to pause in tabletop and stretch out a leg first, feel free to. I'm going to do a round of camel pose, Ustrasana. I suggest bringing your knees wider than hips distance apart. But a lot of times we're told to bring the knees hips distance or closer unless it feels really good for you or you're working something specific. You might let it go a little wider just so your lower back has space. Bring the hands on the lower back. You do pinkies in, thumbs out. You can also do thumbs up and fingers out. Take an inhale to lift your heart up. And exhale, hang your head back, press your pelvis forward. Now, if there are neck issues, you can do all of this with your chin kindly tucked and lift your heart up and press your pelvis forward. Otherwise, a little tension in your neck is normal. Hang your head back. You're welcome to reach for your heels if it feels good, one hand at a time. Press your heart up and your hips forward with buoyancy, breathing for 3. Soft as you can for 2. 1. Slowly, if hands are on heels, hands to hips. Use the inhale, drag your head after your heart as it rises. And exhale to sit your hips back to your heels for a moment. Sit a different way if you need to, but try to leave other accoutrement alone so you can process sensation without adding water, action, etc. Drop your chin, gaze down the line of your nose, or close your eyes. Child's pose is another option if you're feeling out of sorts. Often we sort of move our CSF, our cerebrospinal fluid, around a little bit, and a lot of our blood gets constricted in the arterial bodies around our spine. So there's this fresh jolt of energy, which sometimes can be a little nausea inducing or topsy turvy making. Just noticing that you are headed back towards homeostasis already, you're re regulating. That's really what those extremes like backbends are about, going to the extremes so we can always carve our path back to neutral, so that when things are extreme, we can carve our way back to neutral. Take an inhale in through your nose and slowly exhale it away. And take your hips off to one side and bring your legs out long in front of you. You're welcome to do a seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana, with legs outstretched, or to do the butterfly shape with the soles of your feet together. Take an inhale to lift your heart and exhale to fold. You can round, you can extend. Try not to lead with your neck, lead with your tail in the center of your back. And breathe. And slowly, breath by breath, round yourself up. If your legs are bent, draw the soles of your feet to the mat and your knees up. And keep on tucking your tail to roll all the way down onto your back. And when you eventually get all the way down onto your back, assess what you need. I'll offer you a little right arm out to the right. You're welcome to any other version. Wrap the legs up like a twisted root. Take the bottom leg long. No need to necessarily look to the right unless it feels really good in your neck. Try to soften your shoulders, soften your hips. You could always choose to be doing something else. You might choose a plow or a shoulder stand. You might choose to squeeze your knees in or to head to rest early. Nothing is needed. You're twisting with me. Inhale back through center with your legs and exhale to drop them over to the right hand side. Send your left arm out or up. Relax your jaw and try to let it be a leverageless action. Let it be more about weight and gravity or about addressing, softening. And if you're still working in other actions, take your time to wind yourself down. If you're twisting, inhale your knees back to center and exhale, give them a good squeeze before sending your legs long to rest. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahimahishaha go brahmanyebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. If you're resting and have the time, privilege, availability to continue to do so and wish to do so, please do. The time has come for you to return to waking life. Start by going to your breath, watching its natural rise and fall, and asking again your awareness to manipulate it, to breathe a little deeper, slower, fuller, to wiggle your fingers and your toes, to start moving intuitively in a way that feels good for you. The next 10 or so breaths, take your time to start to create some action and stretch out or up. Roll your ankles or wrists, scrunch your face, run your tongue over your teeth. The next 6 or so rounds of breath, take an exhale to gather your knees towards your chest once more if you're lying on your back. And stay there for a few more breaths before rolling onto your favorite side. We'll pause in the side body in the fetal position. Rest your head on an arm or a hand, a prop or the earth. Let your knees rest curled into your chest. And take a moment here to acknowledge process beyond preference, culture, or opinion, to practice gratitude for the myriad of contributing factors to your unique process. The earth that nourishes you, the stars that collided to create that earth, the ancestors that nourished you, and the ancestors that came before, yours and those of the land that you occupy. Here we're on Salish, Duwamish land. Continue to consider up here, we're, I guess, really on Salish, Swinomish land. People of the Salish tribes, take your time to slowly notice what it is you log in your mind when you think about what allows you to do this practice, whether it be teachers, whether it be obstacles. And think for yourself also of yourself, that you yourself create a network of process by returning to practice again and again in empowerment, compassion, peace. When you're ready, use your top hand to press yourself up towards the seat. We'll seal in the practice together. As you transition to sitting, that's a traditional closing chant that I chanted in the lineage of Krishnamacharya, from which Vinyasa yoga comes in the south of India in Gokulam and Mysore. The overarching meaning of that chant is, may there be victory to the energy that creates, hail to creation. May their noble practitioners and leaders here and everywhere be blessed. May their work be effective and cultivate abundance and wisdom. And may our work seek to contribute to the happiness and liberation of all beings everywhere inside of the context of universality, non dualism, and peace. Thank you for your practice, your process, letting me be a part of it. If you wish, you can fold your hands in the Anjali Mudra, the prayer position at heart center, acknowledging the meeting place of duality, the idea that things that seem separate, like you and me, right and left, sun and moon, beginning and end, have a meeting place. And as yogis, that meeting place gives us a spectrum of non duality, of unity, of everything being one. If you wish, you can bring your thumbs to your third eye, acknowledging that the mind must bow to the intuitive creativity of the heart. If you wish, you can bow to yourself, seal in your practice. Thank you for practicing with me and with Tony. Thank you for utilizing this resource. My intention is just to make something that's accessible and that you can have. And so, like all posers classes, this is donation based. I want to say, if you got a little, kick a little. If you got a lot, kick a lot. But really, the energy is what's important. To me, it's important that you are practicing. So if you can't donate, don't worry about it. If you know others who can't donate, send them this video. Let them know that they can do a practice that's freely given. If you are donating, you donate direct to my accounts, which is PayPal at alyssayakeley@gmail.com, which is also an email you can reach out to me if you have any questions. I have a Cashapp at Alyssa Backbends, just like the Instagram account, and a Venmo at Practice School of Magic, just like the YouTube that this is posted on. If you have questions, do reach out wherever you are. I hope the sun shines on your face soon and you have a good day. And hopefully, even in this way, we'll get to see each other soon. Have a good one.